Welcome back to the kitchen. I have all of my storage garlic that I'm processing today, so it doesn't go to waste. It's about that time of the year where you need to manage your storage garlic. I am up in Michigan, if you're new here, and we grow hardneck varieties. They're very, very stiff. And I just trim them, the tops, after they've cured and store them in my basement, saving the best typically, and I did that this year too, which is all this. This was originally going to be my seed garlic, and I decided I have so much garlic, I really don't need to plant anymore this year, and I'm hoping I don't regret that decision, but I don't think I will. And I'm going to show you guys several things. This process here, it's February 1st, 2nd, something like that, and check your garlic in your pantry. Tip for me, I find that, well, we harvested this, I don't remember when, honestly, August, September, and it's time, about this time, about 6 months or so, that you want to check it, and they'll start shriveling up on you, so you don't want them to go bad. And so what we like to do is we just break them in individual cloves, leaving the wrappings on them, and typically we'll just store them in a freezer bag. I'm going to try one different way of preserving this year. I'm going to do a fermented garlic for some of them, and just see how we like it. Like, I'll show you, I can feel one right here is disintegrated. Show you what happens. Yeah, it gets all black inside and just shrivels up, and there's it basically turns to powder and dust. It's not worth anything after that. So, like, that one was basically a dud. So I'm going to try fermenting garlic for the first time using a saltwater ferment. Yep, bad already. See, oh, it's so sad when it happens. They just turn to black shriveled garlic prunes. And then a lot of these will just get stored in the freezer as is. But when I harvested that garlic back then, I told you guys I would share with you one of my favorite all-time garlic recipes, and it's called Toum. It is a Lebanese sauce, kind of like condiment, and you get it a lot. So we have a lot of Middle Eastern restaurants here in Michigan. It's one of our favorite cuisines, and you get Toum served a lot, and it's very, very fat-rich, delicious food condiment if you're a garlic lover, and we are. So I'm going to make Toum for you guys today, show you that recipe. We'll start our ferment, and then see what we have left to preserve in the freezer. And eventually you'll see all of our garlic end to end, harvest, curing. Now we've shown you plenty of recipes eating it fresh, and now it's time to just take it to the next level of food preservation. So this is going to take me a bit to get all of these broken up. So I'll be back, show you what I end up with, and then we'll get into probably the ferment first. I mean, why don't you get ready and make sure you have your materials and equipment. Do you already have what you need, like, set aside and ready to go?
No.
Oh, okay.
So I got all the garlic peeled, and if you see like this little one right here, there's this little stem starting to come out, this little green piece on the inside. They can make your toum bitter. So what you should do is cut them all in half, and if you have these little sprouts inside like that, remove all of them. It's kind of a pain and an extra step and a bit tedious, but it'll make the flavor much nicer. See how that one right there? And kind of like little onion sprouts. And once you do that to them, that's the last step for them. Those can go right into your blender or your food processor. And not all of them may have that. Like this one didn't have it. He didn't start to sprout. But that one there, he probably will. Just slice them down the middle. Pull that little piece out. All right, the recipe we will leave in the description for you is a single batch. We're making a double batch. So we have 2 cups of garlic in our blender. We're gonna add 4 teaspoons of salt. 1 cup of lemon juice. And the final ingredient would be 6 cups of oil. We're going to be using avocado oil today. So once you get this far, you can start the blending process, get the garlic all nice and chopped up. All right, it looks kind of like that. And it smells like garlic. So our 6 cups of oil. Next, you want to start off putting it in very slow in the beginning, like a couple spoonfuls, and try to let that emulsify in and get blended in, and then a couple more, and then a couple more. And as you go, you can start increasing how much you add. If you add too much all at once, it's going to break the emulsification, and the oil and the garlic will separate. You're basically trying to take the molecules of garlic and the molecules of oil and stick them together like this kind of. And if you put too much of one all at the same time, too much oil, it'll break that bond. So at some point along the way, it's going to start to get really, really thick, and it's going to start to not really clump up, but like your oil won't start going down in. So you kind of have to stop, mix it up, but it's looking really good so far. We're getting close. I have like another 1.5 cups of oil to add. All right, that took a little while. When you do it in a blender, it can be really hard because it just turns into this big, like, super thick mass, and it doesn't want to accept the oil. I think a food processor would be a much better choice, but we finally got it all mixed in, and that's what it looks like.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's like, it doesn't taste like oil at all. It just tastes like you're eating like garlic sauce.
Well, folks, I let my garlic go a little too long. As you saw with Todd's Toum recipe, quite a lot. Just the beginnings of sprouting. And I don't know enough about fermenting garlic to know whether or not that would alter the end product. And I really don't want to lose my garlic stores. And so I have a full gallon bag of garlic here. I'll end up with a second bag once I get it loaded. And I saved all of Todd's tips and scraps from trimming the garlics that we will use for broth. All the rest of the outer peelings and cores of the garlic heads, I'm just composting. So go down to your pantry or wherever you have your garlic stored and make sure you're not letting it go too long. Another awesome tip for preserving it is making your own honey garlic. It is kind of like it is a ferment. You're fermenting garlic and honey We still have some in the fridge, so I don't need to do that right now. Or try yourself making some black garlic. Oh my goodness, is that good. So it's time for dinner. I've got all my garlic done. The last few heads going in the bag. I will put these little scraps in my scrap bag. Thanks for helping tonight.
You're welcome. So with this Toum, you're gonna wanna put it in your refrigerator, preferably with something on the top at first that can breathe, like just a paper towel or something, and put it in your fridge for at least 24 hours. After 24 hours, the flavor is gonna change a little bit. It's gonna get a little bit stronger. And then you can portion it down into smaller size containers with an airtight lid on it. So.
Yeah, so that's obviously a ton of Toum. I plan on portioning it off in pint jars and freezing it, and then we will consume whatever we want this week.
Which is usually a lot.
Until we can't stand ourselves anymore because it's so much garlic.
And it's one of those things too, like if only one person likes it, it's probably not going to work for your household because one person will have garlic breath and the other person won't.
It's not just garlic breath though. It comes from your pores. It's super strong.
But if you both like it and you both eat it, you will become kind of immune to it.
Yeah. All right, so thanks for coming along on garlic preservation and finally that Toum recipe. If you want to see us eat it though, you're going to have to come back and watch this week's What We Eat in a Week video because we're about to have some homemade chicken shawarmas and the Toum is for that.
See you guys later.
Bye guys.